Okay, Frank. Well, it's time to get going. So let's get you out of the case here. Oh, that was much further along than I thought. Okay. All right, first steps is to get things freed up and take off a few components while we're here. Got a bit ahead of myself. I got to get my trays ready to set the screws and parts. Okay, now I'm ready. All right, first of all, let's get your winding weight. What's nice is this movement has not seen water, though that's interesting. It's got some signature here on the... So interesting what people do. Not sure if that's a signature. That might just be scratching. Okay. Okay. Got some parts and pieces in here, crud or something brown, not standard Seiko material. All right. Okay, so now we can actually take your pushers out. Looks like somebody had been working on one of these with a screwdriver a bit, trying to get it loose, but did not do any major damage. Definitely need new seals. Those are like rocks. As is this one on your crown. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get the movement out. Wow, look at that dial. That is nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Very nice indeed. We'll get your minute recording wheel hand out. Yeah, so that you can see here, we'll get something less pokey. This is actually permanent, and it is similar to this sort of dark ring that's around your edges here. There's nothing really to be done about it. I think it adds to the character, but you know, that's me. Got some hazing on your hands, but they look good. Loom is quite good. That's always a nice sign because it means that water has been kept at bay. I will take a very close look once we get under here at what's going on with your minute or your day wheel or day disc. Got this gel pad. I'm not sure if I like it, to be honest. It seems a bit weird. All right, no matter. Okay. Protect your dial. Chronograph wheel, or chronograph. My brain sweep hand for your chronograph. Here's your minute hand. And your hour hand. Very nice. Alright, let's look under your dial. Let's take the dial off. Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. This is a two-tone dial spacer. It's got this sort of brass exposed here. That's interesting. Worked on quite a few of these Pogues, and I don't think I've ever seen that before. Not to say that it's unique to this watch, but certainly very unique looking by all accounts. Okay, let's take a good look under here. 2-2, and I believe your case back is also a 2-2. Yes. So those are match set. Very nice. That is good. Alright, we'll squirrel that away into a safe place. Let's look here at what we've got going on with your ring. Something's weird. I don't know. Is that correct for this? I mean, it's in the right spot, but it seems to me... So, that's weird. I think that's a 4 o'clock. So you have a 3 o'clock stem. If I'm not mistaken, this might be the wrong wheel for their disc for this watch. That's not correct. That's been replaced, I believe. There's no other reason that it should be there. I'm going to compare the numbers, make sure that that is correct assessment. But for now, okay. Well, let's go ahead and continue. Let's continue. Okay. Movement holder would be nice. There we go. All right, let's continue. Okay. Die shock out. All right, let's get your power down. That's good. Okay. Let's take a look at your palette fork. It's got a bit of stripe in it. I'm not sure. Yeah. You may be in store for a new palette fork before the end of this. We'll see. Sometimes they can wear groove if they haven't been lubricated in a long time. That's one of the Achilles heels of no service, is that pallet forks can get worn poorly, and that is just a huge loss of power. Okay. We shall see. This chronograph has been reset quite a bit. You can tell this bushing gets pushed. It's not really a big deal, but it is indicative of use, which is fine. These are tools, after all. Okay. Get that screw. There we go. Let's go ahead and get your springs off. There we go. Get your hammer. Okay. Now, all right. Get your operating levers off. Okay, good. Let's get your plate. All right, let's get your column wheel. And your bushing. Good. Good, 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 good. All right, take your ratchet wheel. Ooh, that's got a lot of play. Okay, good thing we are doing some jeweling here, as your arbor ports are very worn. You can see you've lost lubrication here, and that becomes a bit of a grinding paste. And take a very close look at all your jewels and make sure that they are clear and clean and not cracked. I had one recently that was cracked. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, it's good. The resistance is good. Feels good. A little gluey. Your escape wheel. All right, let's look at this lower. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Ooh, yeah, that's some grimy stuff. All right, that we will get rid of, and we will make sure that port is properly jeweled. Really helps with the longevity of these movements. Okay, I am so curious about this wheel. It just boggles the mind what the origin of this is. Because it's clearly offset. I mean, that's just, it's in the right spot, but it is not in the right location. It's very odd. It's not that I can set it to a place that would be different. It's not aligned. Interesting. Why would somebody replace it? Why would it not be correct? These are my questions. I don't understand. A lot in this world I don't understand. All right. That will go over here for future information gathering. Okay. So you can tell this is an early movement. We got lots of metal parts instead of plastic parts, for example. Okay. Also have a bizarre situation. That is curious. So this should be flat, and it is not. Why are you not flat? I mean, you function as you should, but you are bent. This is badly bent. Why is that bent? Boy, that's weird. Ooh. Bizarre. Bizarre, bizarre. I am very curious about the history of this watch. I went back and looked at your emails, and you had said that it hadn't been serviced, but, well, it's got signatures in the back, so clearly it has been, but by whom and what were they thinking? Whoa, that is in bad shape there. I mean, it's a great movement. It's got all metal parts and everything's good. But this thing is just wonky. That has got to be replaced. That's not even going back in there. We're not even going to clean that thing. That's got to go. So that's getting replaced. That'll come back to you. Certainly not right. Metal gear. Okay. I don't know, Frank. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Somebody has scribed their initials onto this main plate. This watch has been under the knife. I don't know by whom, but somebody put their moniker on the main plate, which I don't approve of, but that's okay. I think it's I think graffiti is a good art form, but not on Seiko movement plates. has a lot of wear. Look at that. So this sits below a plate. I don't know. Oh, that's upside down. Yeah, that's supposed to be that way, and it's not. Curious. Okay. Keyless works. Well, we're going to fix some of these problems. For sure. Can't do anything about the signatures, but can fix issues with components. Okay. Well, there we are. One last thing. Two last things. Die shock needs to come out. There it goes. Okay, well, we are ready to start jeweling. We're going to jewel this port right here, which has a lot of grimy stuff. Whoever 26 is, we're going to undo some of that. Anyway, overall, looks pretty good. We're going to take a very close look at all your jewels. Make sure everybody's clean, and then we'll install our jewels and go from there. All right, Frank. Next time you see it, it'll be nice and clean and jeweled. Okay, Frank. Well, it's time to get back to your watch. We are ready to start with the assembly process. As I always like to point out, you have two brand new, custom-made, produced in America jewels right here. There's one. That's your lower mainspring arbor port jewel, and your lovely new upper mainspring arbor port jewel, which is right there. So those will keep your movement from essentially self-destructing over time. These were not made for longevity, which is apparent in a lot of the watches you get. These lower ports are very much worn. So we are ready to get you back together. So let's get started here. I've done some checks. I've done some pre-lubrication on a couple components that need that. So we're going to get your plate pieces here. We're going to get those lubricated. All right. So first things first is your center wheel. Just like to give everything one last check over to make sure that it's completely free of any dust or debris before we put them in. Chronographs are particularly challenging because there are, multiple bridges that connect everything together, and if you're not careful, very careful in fact, you can have to take the watch fully back down, which is a lot of work. So it's always good to double, triple check everything as you're going back together. Do that for every watch, of course, but chronographs are particularly susceptible to lots of extra time trying to track down an issue if it exists. All right, here's your barrel. Lovely. Okay, next is your escape wheel. Sorry for the barking. Okay, so now let's look at your third wheel. There we go. All right, and now your super important fourth wheel chronograph wheel, which has been pre-lubricated. Still gets a final inspection here. Make sure it's in good shape and is ready to go back. All right. In we go. All right. All right, now your train bridge goes in place. All right, there we go. Looks good. That looks good. Okay. Very good. All right, Get everybody tightened down. All right, now we need to lubricate a little bit. Okay, good. I had a close look at your palette fork, and I'm not convinced it's in good shape. The reason I say that is because one of the jewels, you have these two stones that interact with your escape wheel, and two of them, or one of them, is not straight, and that can really affect things. So we may be in for a new jewel, or a new palette fork. Luckily I have a spare. And there's your click. And your ratchet wheel. Yep. Sometimes you gotta get it right. Okay. Okay, so that's most of your train. So now we can build out your chronograph components. Gotta lubricate your pivots here. Good. All right. Now we need some grease, heavy duty stuff for some heavy duty parts. Okay. Now we can start building out the chronograph. Right, there's your column wheel. Lubricate that. Alrighty. Now your operating levers for your chronograph can go in place. And one. And there's two. All right. Right, so now put a little bit of lubrication between the levers. That's a high pressure point. Okay, now we put your hammer on. First, we'll lubricate your hammer, of course. Okay, there we go. All right, now your operating springs. That's one. And the one for your hammers here. That's two. All right, let's do a little clean up here. Where's my Rotico? Where has my Rotico gone? That's weird. Usually doesn't disappear like that. No matter. I'll use this one. Okay, good. Excellent. All right, now for your minute recording wheel. That goes into place. And the intermediate wheel. Good. Excellent. Okay. Next is your bridge for your chronograph. We have to put some heavy duty lubrication here. Make sure that's doing the right thing. And there we go. It's ambitious. All right. We're going to lubricate this jewel, and then we're going to flip it over, install some components, do some lubrication, And then we'll have to debate your pallet fork situation. So we're going to install yours, but then we're going to check out the performance. And if it's lacking at all, we're going to just install a new one. Okay. So let's get this flipped. Alley-oop. And let's lubricate your center wheel here. And put on your cannon pinion. Good. All right, now your lower die shock. It goes here. Oh, come on. Okay. Now we got to lubricate your third wheel, which is here, and your escape wheel, which is here. Okay, good. All right, so now it's off to make a decision. What do we do? What do we do? I'm almost thinking it makes more sense just to go ahead and change it, because it is really not in good shape. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, now we get to check our work. We got everything back together. It's time to get your balance back in place. See how that does. And there we go. Okay. So this is a little floppy simply because there's no jewel holding the upper pivot of the balance wheel. We will address that right now. Okay. Okay. Oh, now come on. Sometimes I call this tiddlywinks from hell. Those little pieces want to jump and fly and fall and do whatever they want. All right. Good. All right, we're moving. Let's see how we did. All right, not bad to start. Let's see if we can get over here. Well, that's not bad. Remember when I said that a pallet fork can lead to issues? There it is. All right, but we have replaced it with one that is perfect, and we have reaped the reward, I think. Well, let's get you adjusted. All right, that's a nice place to start. Which way did we go? Too much? Wrong way? Yes, wrong way, too much. Let's get that dialed back just a hair. Good. I'm going to anticipate our change. Do that. Now, do this. Right. A little bit more. See if we can dial out all that beat error. There's a little bit left. I think I went too far the other way. Yep, I overdid it. Well, that's pretty good. All right. Excuse me. Okay. Yep. Also, again, too much. Get that to flatten out a little bit. That looks pretty good. Ay, ay, ay. Come on now. All right, come on. Oops, I just stopped. Let's let that recover, and then we'll try again. Come on. Wind back up. It's called unintentional hacking. All right. For now, I think I'm going to leave that alone. One more little adjustment here. Oh, darn it. Again. Too much. Now the other way. Okay, that feels pretty good. All right. Pretty darn close. Oh my gosh. This thing has a stiff spot. There. It wants to jump back and forth between two positions. But I think that's probably where we're going to leave it for now. All right, I'm going to let this break in. Not that it needs too much more. Numbers are outstanding, so that's a great place to start. A lot of times that's where we end. So I'm just going to let this run for a bit, and then we're going to get started on the other side, getting the calendar back together. Yeah, 2:30s. That's great. Perfect. Okay, Frank, well, we are, I think, fully broken in here. I think things are going in the right direction. You're definitely in the amplitude range that I like to see prior to putting everything back together. You're approaching 250 here. A little bit of regulation yet to do, but I still have to flip the movement over and do things on the other side. So we'll check it again, of course, as it goes back into the case. But you're at 255. That's about as good as you're going to see in a Seiko 6000 series. So I think we've done the right thing. All right, coming back with more assembly. Okay, Frank, now it's time to go ahead and get this part of the movement taken care of. And so we've got to build out your keyless works and your calendars. And we're going to do that now. So of course implies more lubrication everywhere. So let's get everybody lubricated. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and get your setting lever installed. Okay, good. And your yoke. All right. One of the simplest but yet elegant keyless works of the Seiko varieties. I think it's only matched by in simplicity by the 7000 series, which is quite simple. But this one is as well, and quite functional. All right, so now let's get your minute recording intermediate wheel in place. And its plate. Okay. Now we've gone ahead and replaced this component, so this is a new one for you. Yours was badly bent out of shape, wasn't flat. This one, however, is perfectly flat, which is what you want. Okay. So nice on these early B movements. Basically everything was metal, except for this one finger, but pretty robust. Not that the other ones aren't, but it's just nice to see them in all metal. All right, let's put your intermediary wheel and your hour recording, your hour wheel. There we go. Everybody's together. Okay. You need to go ahead and put your jumper. Give that a drop of lubrication here at the end. Okay, now your date wheel goes in place. There we go. Okay, now your retaining plate. And there we have it. Okay, now the day disc was misaligned, so I'm gonna try and realign it if I can. First I have to see its resting position, so let's get this installed. Okay, so that's where it sits now. George? Horses barking. Okay, I think that's pretty darn close to where we want to be. We're going to check it with your dial and see how it looks. Let's get your C-clip on and we'll be finished. Okay, Frank. Well, we are ready to do our final bits of assembly here and get you fully finished. So we're going to get your winding components put in place. Okay. Okay, now your winding weight goes back on. just need your case back seal. Goes like so. Freshly siliconed so it stays and keeps water tight. All right, last few things here. We're going to put your pushers back in. These are new seals, lubrication, of course, silicone grease. There we have it. All right, let's get your case back on. And with that, we are finished with your 1972 6139 6005 Resist Text Pogue. So, I think this came out just fantastic. Okay, so a couple things. Your watch was in pretty good shape when it got here, although there were some issues that we had to sort of work through, and some parts that, of course, needed to be replaced. We'll start with that. So let's zoom back out a little bit, have a little look at what we've done. All right, so here are all your replacements. Some seals and things stuck in there, but okay. So first of all, new crystal, of course. Case back seal is new. These are your wrong-sized spring bars. We'll put new ones in. That's no problem. You had a pallet fork. This jewel right here was bad. So that had to go. So that'll come back to you. All right. This piece is your quick date changer. So when you push your crown in, it changes the day and date. And this is the mechanism that does that. This is badly bent. Why it's bent, I have no idea. Doesn't make any sense to me why that would be bent, but it is. So that will also come back to you. This is the bushing for your upper mainspring arbor port jewel. That will also come back. We replace that with a jewel. Here's some old seals from your pushers and your stem and crown. So all this will come back, and you can do what you like with them. All right, let me zoom back in here. We'll talk about your watch and what we've been able to do. Now, zoom back in here. All right, so what a transformation. It's really a stunner of a watch, I have to say. I have your bracelet. It's being cleaned, so that'll go back on for the ride home. Everything came out really well. Once we decided to go ahead and do that pallet fork, boy, the numbers were just stunning. This thing runs really, really well. All right, so you have really good hands. I cleaned up some of the haze that was on your hands. I got your minute recording hand back on and cinched down so it will not come off again. Your dial, it's just lovely. I just think this Resist Text Sunburst style dial just really, really is quite nice. New seals everywhere. Chronograph is functioning as it should. I got your day straightened out, so now it's properly aligned in the window here. And your day date quick set, I'm going to wait for that to move by, works just as it should. You can do one and the other independently. There you go. All right, so that's working as it should. Of course, day and date, click over at midnight, lead up, and then boom. And then this happens, of course, at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's paying attention, I guess. Hand alignment is right on. And there we go. I think it just came out perfect. So, beautiful watch. Really, really nice. Your minute recording clicks over. We can reset back to 0. Everything goes just as it should. So, I always recommend people reset closer to 5 and 11, or 1 and 11. That way, you're sort of preserving the chronograph function. This one is ready to come back. I think we're done. All right, well, thanks so much, Frank, and I'll be in touch, and thanks for watching.